yawning wide as the Pacific tide.
Amanda Gorman is the first ever Youth Poet Laureate in the U.S.
What is it like to be a first?
It's intimidating, and I never really thought that I would be that person who's the first, because I remember when I was little reading about people, it doesn't get past me that not only am I the first Youth Poet Laureate, but at the same time I'm the first woman Youth Poet Laureate and the first Black Youth Poet Laureate.
19-year-old Amanda was awarded the prestigious title last April at Gracie Mansion in New York City.
A lot of your poetry focuses on social change, social justice. Where does that passion come from?
I think that passion comes from my heritage, comes from this place where, like, I must write, I must speak up, because there's been too many people who've been kept from that opportunity.
Who inspired you growing up?
Oh, my mother.
Amanda grew up in Los Angeles, and she attributes a lot of her success to her mom, Joan Wicks, a teacher who raised her and her twin sister as a single mother. Amanda's passion for poetry started in the 3rd grade.
Talk to me about when you first knew you loved poetry.
I was around 7 or 8 years old, and my teacher, Shelley, had us reading Ray Bradbury's Dandelion Wine. I was like, oh my goodness, Bradbury just related candy to something completely different. That's what I want to do with my life. That's who I want to be.
I love that it was a metaphor. You were a
Yes.
3rd grader with a metaphor, and that's all you needed.
The metaphor hit home. It was like magic. Poetry has definitely been one of the most stable expressions for me of my identity and who I am. I love whenever I'm writing to have just all these books of people I look up to beside me. What I really like to do is choose like one word from each of like a collection of books I have, make like a word cloud and select them to make a new poem.
But public speaking didn't come naturally.
Heal or past and will always be our future.
It took courage, determination, and grit for Amanda to get on stage.
You've spoken about having a speech impediment. And do you feel like in some ways that led you to poetry?
Oh, 100%. And a lot of times I talk about having a speech impediment and the difficulty of literally speaking up for myself. The voice I'm hearing aloud can't pronounce R's, it can't pronounce sh. It's kind of sounds a bit garbled, but I hear this strong, self-assured voice when I'm reading this, simple text. And what that told me is the power of your inner voice over that which people might hear through their ears. The only thing that could impede me was myself.
Now a sophomore at Harvard, Amanda started One Pen, One Page, an organization inspiring other young writers to share their voices.
So in a world that I think needs light constantly, in a world where social change is being talked about a lot, where does poetry come in?
Poetry is at the forefront of that, from the Declaration of Independence to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Poetry has always been the thread that is weaving throughout kind of the fabric of American and global history. I straddle black girls' tango between northern ebony blood of my pen against the cool flesh of my journal.
What is breaking through, breaking boundaries? What does that mean to you?
I think breaking through, especially in this day and age, is not only breaking through the door, but it's holding it open so that other people can come through. Will we write an American lyric? We are just beginning to tell. Focus on your path, focus on your purpose, and how you, specifically and specially as yourself, can break through a barrier.